Good evening and welcome to tonight's TESPN broadcast of Trinity Episcopal Titan football, as the 6-1 Titans are here in Glen Allen, Virginia, Henrico County, to battle the 5-3 Jaguars of Glen Allen High School. I'm Rick Hamlin, joined here by JJ Welcher. We've also got up here in our broadcast crew Briggs Pinar, Will Hampton, and executive producer Carter Tyree. And the Jaguars are about to enter the field. Titans are already out there. It's a perfect night for football. Upper 50s, clear. And here come the Jaguars, looking fired up in their black uniforms and teal helmets. And JJ, it's great to be back up in a press box with you, my main man. It's been so fun working together this whole season. And all we've seen in our broadcasts have been Trinity victories, but last week, a game that we did not air on our YouTube channel, but road loss at St. Christopher's 13-7. So the Titans, who had been really rolling all season with decisive victories, had their first taste of adversity, and it's going to be really interesting to see tonight how do these Titans bounce back against these Glen Allen Jaguars, a 5-3 public school, much bigger student population, and it's a real, public versus private battle here at Glen Allen tonight.
Yeah, Trinity coming off that tough loss to St. Chris. We saw the offense put up very high-scoring numbers the past couple weeks, but then in that game versus St. Chris, only one touchdown off a big play by Davion Brown. Glen Allen has been playing very well recently. Beat a couple good teams, went on a 3-game winning streak, and then lost to Hermitage last week. So both teams coming off a loss and trying to get back on the right path to end their season, really.
Yeah, and this is one where there aren't going to be a lot of common opponents. We don't get too many public versus private school games in this area. for a lot of different reasons, but it's great when we have them, and I'm really thankful to Glen Allen to invite these Trinity Episcopal Titans over, and Evan Goldschmidt's opening kickoff is fielded at about the 5-yard line, and the return is brought out to the 25. That was Dandridge Jakeem with the return. JJ, I didn't see who made that tackle.
Yeah, me neither.
I think it might have been Maddox Patrick. He was at least close on the play. And also our press box here a little bit farther from the field than what we are used to at Aycock Stadium. Obviously, bigger school, bigger stadium. Sam DeFrancesca actually with the tackle for the Titans. So first play from scrimmage coming up here for the Jaguars, and they're going to hand that football off, and there is nothing doing. Great job by the Titan D-line. Jacob Boyd had nowhere to go as about 5 Trinity players were right there to meet him at the hole.
Yeah, in this game, both teams are battling a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. Trinity's defense playing through some banged-up players from last week, and Glen Allen got a quarterback out, got a couple skill positions out. So it's going to be very interesting and very hard for both of these teams to keep this energy sustained throughout the entire game.
Jaguars looking deep. It is caught. Great pass. And Jabari Harris with the catch. Heck of a throw as well by Luke Perini. And we heard a lot this week, I'm sure you did as well, JJ, from the football players that with starting quarterback Ralphie Puccinelli out for Glen Allen, that they would be not as maybe have that offensive attack that has put up big numbers this year. 42 points against Prince George, 34 against Patrick Henry, 47 against Hampton, but as well as 46 against Godwin. So this is a prolific offense, but great job there by the backup quarterback, and he's going to have a good positive run as well.
Yeah, and that's a great play call on the first play. Take a shot. Get the energy going. Get your fans into the game. You have a lot more fans than Trinity does, so that's going to be a factor. And like I said, deep shot down the sideline completed for the first play of the game.
This is a 5-yard gain there on the quarterback keeper by Luke Perini, and it'll make it 2nd and 5 from the 37 in Titan territory early. Perini back to pass again, and this time better coverage by Josiah Walker and Khalid Rayner as they looked again for Jabari Harris, who had that big reception on the, second play from scrimmage.
Yeah, why not go back to it? It's 3rd down and still manageable. So take a shot on 2nd down. Try and get something going, get an early punch in this game where I feel that both offenses are going to be throwing a lot of punches.
Yeah, and I don't think I said at the time, took me a minute actually to do the math on it, but I think that pass completion was about a 32-yarder on the long pass that put them into Titan territory from Luke Perini to Jabari Harris. All right, 3rd and 5. Might be 4-down territory just based on this part of the field. Little screen pass is well read. Great defensive job by the Titans. And that is Mason Love, who's had an unbelievable season. And you see him fired up. So it's a loss of 2. Going to be 4th and 7. And for me, Mason Love has been, at least on the defensive side of the football, probably the player of the year for the Titans through 7 games. 4th and 7. Perini tried the hard count, but the Titans stayed disciplined. They do snap it. Perini rolls right. That pass is incomplete, broken up. Marquise Bullock with a big hit as that hit the hands of the intended receiver there, which was, I believe, Davis Fisher. And it was a good pass by Perini, and great job by Bullock to separate the receiver from the football there and turn it over on downs. And we'll get our first look at the Titan offense taking over at their own 39. As quarterback Deacon Scogan will be in the shotgun formation. And you said it, JJ, these Titans with a after such a prolific offense with 40-plus points every game this season, or I guess only 36 at North Cross, but only 7 last week at St. Christopher's. We'll see if they can get back to scoring that football. And it's a great start on the first Titan play from scrimmage. Carson Parks carries for 13 yards on first down and already into Jaguar territory.
Yeah, great blocking there by the offensive line. Able to just separate the 2 defensive tackles there and just open a hole for Carson to run through. And you got to get his legs going in this game. They couldn't really do it well last game, which kind of led to their loss.
Good job by Scogan to take the high snap, and it's back to Parks. He breaks it out to the left and picked up 6 or 7, but a good tackle by Brandon Turner. I think if Parks had broken that, he could have gone perhaps all the way. One thing to look for today, JJ, is I think that you're going to see the Titans really commit to the run. I think they felt like last week they got too caught into passing downs early, and maybe relied on the pass too much, put too much pressure on Scogan. And then once they got behind, they really felt like they had to throw it. But as we see here, every play thus far for the Titan offense has been a handoff to Carson Parks, and everyone has been for at least 7 yards as he picked up another first down to the 33.
Yeah, once again, credit to his offensive line opening up the holes. And on that second down, credit to Carson Parks. Like I've been saying all year, his yards after contact are very, very, very good. The first person usually is not able to bring him down, and he's able to run for that 7 to 8 extra yards and get this offense going.
All right, a little bit of not a huddle, but they did take some time there to talk. First down, this is a pitch to C.J. Gray, and it's good to see him back in action. C.J.'s missed the last couple of games with an injury. Only picked up a yard there as they look to get him going wide. Good job by the Jaguar defense.
Yeah, like you said, great job by the Jaguar defense to stretch that play out. Usually the running back's looking to find a hole and cut it upfield with their speed, and CJ has a lot of that speed. But Glen Allen able to stretch that play with the linebackers and DBs following the ball very well, and that led to the 1-yard gain.
And even though that wasn't a particularly explosive run by CJ, he just adds another element. With he and Carson Parks, it's really kind of a thunder and lightning. Carson likes to go more between the tackles, as we see here. And then he does bounce it out, and Carson has that in his bag as well. He's still, I think, on his feet. I've yet to hear a whistle. Carson Parks just kept churning and spinning for an incredible 20-yard gain, 21-yard gain, actually. And, gosh, on that play, Carson Parks was thunder and lightning all in one. But, yeah, you know, with CJ back available, that gives Carson a little more rest. Although Carson at times seems to be one of these running backs, and you hear about this sometimes at the next level, who the more you feed them, almost the more energy it gives them.
Yeah, like I said, I pull up that point again, yards after contact. He was hit after about 5 yards, but kept his legs turning and got an extra 17 yards on that play.
This handoff to Parks is not as effective. Good job by the Jaguars D-line. He did pick up 2 yards and got it just inside the 10, where it'll be second down. It is possible for the Titans to get a first down here without scoring. They got inside the 2. Titans with 3 wideouts. Devion Brown goes in motion. They hand off to Devion Brown. He's looking to hit the left side, and it is a touchdown, Titans. Devion Brown, 9-yard touchdown score. And that gives him how many all-time touchdowns? A lot.
32, I think.
Yeah, he has 31 receiving touchdowns. I think that was a run play. He's also had a bunch of those, as well as a number of kick returns as well. So if you add it all up, he's got to be well over 40 touchdowns. And Titans going to kick the extra point here with Evan Goldschmidt, who was not very busy last week, only got the opportunity to kick 1 extra point and just a couple of kickoffs. Evans' kick is good. So pretty perfect start for the Titans. I mean, other than giving up that one 32-yard pass play, but then the defense stiffened. And then offensively, just march it right down the field, all running plays. Mostly Carson Parks did the majority of the damage, but also C.J. Gray, his first action really since, I think, September was the last time that C.J. played. And then you also had Devion Brown, of course, Fat Rat, with the first touchdown of the ball game.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the coordinators as well, though. They saw that Glen Allen was starting to crash down on that run when he got stopped and said, let's get into our fastest player, one of our best players, out in space, and let's see what he can do. And he takes it all the way from about, I think it was 11 yards out, something like that, right?
Yeah, had it for about 9.5. I think Carson had gotten just inside the 10, but and it was a tough run too. I mean, decent job by Glen Allen to get hands on him around the 3 or 4 yard line, but you know it's always going to take more than 1 or 2 guys to bring down Devion Brown, and he was able to fight his way. And once he gets that nose for the goal line, he pretty much always finds a way in. All right, good kick again by Goldschmidt, fielded inside the 5. Wow, big hit. Trey Cherry. C.J. Gray, I actually think, got a little bit on him at first to slow the ball carrier down, and then Trey Cherry came flying in there. He is one of the best tacklers on this team.
100%.
So it's going to be pretty poor starting field position for Glen Allen at their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, I think the returner tried to make like a cut on that play because it was great kickoff coverage. They were all holding their lanes, and he tried to make a cut, and Trey just came in just cleaner.
Perini faked the handoff and looked to keep it, but he had no gain.
Great job by the linebackers, in my opinion. I know last week and all throughout practice, the coaches were harping on the linebackers going back a little more than forward, but this game, I see them all flying forward. When we saw Mason make that screen pass play, he was flying forward, and they're just stuffing up these holes and not allowing Glen Allen's running game to get going.
Yeah, I think it was Sadiq Pone there as well on the tackle. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. Throw is caught. It's going to be a huge gain for Glen Allen. Touchdown saving tackle made by KJ Harris at the end of that play. And a late flag came out as well, maybe for taunting. But that's going to be a 53-yard gain. Or is it a face mask?
I think it was taunting. He threw it after the play.
So it was number 13, Davis Fisher, with the huge gain. But yeah, it is going to be unsportsmanlike against Glen Allen at the end of that. So about a 52-yard gain, but it's only going to net him about 37. But still, and that ball was touched by, I think, Trey Cherry. Got a hand on it. I thought it might get picked, and then it deflected right into the hands of Davis Fisher. And Davis showed off good speed and incredible hustle, though, by KJ Harris to catch him. At one point there, I thought that Davis might take it all the way, or Davis Fisher. So ultimately, as a result of the penalty, the line of scrimmage is going to be, I think, the 34. They haven't marked it off yet, but it looked like he got tackled at the 19. And yeah, indeed, they are going to place the ball down at the 34, which is pretty close to where Glen Allen's last drive stalled out. And Glen Allen coaches have got to be frustrated because not only do you lose the 15 and you're out of the red zone, but it does deflate the momentum a little. I mean, still a big play, but even as we heard the PA announcer get fired up about the first down, didn't have quite the juice from the Glen Allen fans that it would have had without that penalty.
Yep, totally.
And I think well, I'll save that thought because they're looking for Davis Fisher again, and they got him. Touchdown, Jaguars. And Davis Fisher made up for his penalty with a 34-yard touchdown. Really nice pass from Luke Perini. And Fisher is fired up. Well, all I was going to say before that play was that I feel like the threshold for what is considered unsportsmanlike has gotten a lot low. I mean, the refs don't tolerate much of anything. So after Fisher's previous catch, we obviously up here couldn't hear what he said to KJ Harris, but it didn't seem too demonstrative. But the ref was quick to throw that flag, and the extra point is blocked. So the Titans will maintain the lead. Good job by Trinity Special Teams there to keep the lead. But also credit to, first of all, the Glen Allen offensive coordinator who saw something there. Titan DBs bit hard on that pump fake. And then Fisher hit him with the double move. And, it was a great throw by Luke Perini. The backup quarterback, but I believe he was the starter 2 years ago before Puccinelli transferred over from Benedictine here to Glen Allen. And Perini is showing that he still absolutely can throw that football around. And, gosh, he's already got over 100 yards passing here in the first quarter, just about 7 minutes into the game. We haven't seen the Titans secondary give up these kind of chunk plays really all season.
Yeah, and you really see that type of fake screen play against DBs that offensive coordinators think that are a little too aggressive going for the ball. So like you said, pump fake on the screen, both corners come, and it's just a simple wheel route for Davis, and he makes a great catch and dives into the end zone for the touchdown and make it 7-6 in this game.
It's a squib kick that's going to travel out of bounds. And so Trinity will take over with good field position at the 35. That was kind of in between onside and not quite the full squib. Yeah, so it is a flag, and be solid field position for the Titans. They also might just be, we don't want to kick it to Devion Brown. And we've seen that plenty from a lot of the independent schools that Trinity plays. Is a lot of teams are hesitant to kick it deep for obvious reasons. And actually, yeah, so it's actually going to go out to the 40-yard line. I forget, in high school, out of bounds goes to the 40. So great field position for Trinity. And so far, what we've seen is one team, the Glen Allen Jaguars, move the ball completely through the air. They've gotten no success on the ground. And the other team, Trinity Episcopal, granted only one drive offensively so far, but not put it in the air at all yet. So definitely a big contrast of styles in the early going. It'll be interesting to see if that pattern continues.
And that's really the beauty of football. There's many different ways to score. You can run it, you can throw it, you can play action, you can screen pass, you can RPO. There's many different ways to get a touchdown in football. And like I said, that's what make the game great.
Handoff to Carson Parks, and Glen Allen did a good job there. Didn't give him too much of a hole, but Parks, as JJ, you've been talking about really all season, that he always falls forward. That's could have been about a 2-yard gain, but with his ability to use his legs and churn and get that extra yard or two, it's going to be a 4-yard gain. And 2nd and 6, obviously a much better position to be in versus 2nd and 8. Going to get a flag, and I think it's going to be a legal procedure or false start against the Titans. I don't know. What did you see there, JJ? Did Deuce go forward? Or?
No, it was one of the linemen who flinched. I wasn't able to really get, it was in my peripheral vision, but I did see a white jersey flinch up. So that's what caused the penalty. I want to say it was on the right side to either Aronde or Landon Bell.
Yeah.
Jumped, but. Yeah.
And, one thing I'll say to your credit, and I think a lot of people might not realize, we don't have replay ability up here on you would see on a lot of broadcasts. And so JJ, I'll finish that thought in a second, but Deuce Mason with a great end around, and it was 2nd and 11, but Deuce picked up all 11 plus a couple, and ends up going to be a 14-yard gain and a first down and into Jaguar territory. Now, I was just going to say, JJ, your ability to break down the plays, you get one crack at it. You see it in real time, and yet I think whatever you see has been right in all of our broadcasts this year, which this is, I think, our 5th time. So when you see a nationally broadcast game, usually the color commentator is watching a replay, but you get it all in real time, and it's really impressive just how you're able to see this game. So
thank you. Speaking
of impressive, Carson Parks is a very impressive running back for Trinity, and he just always gets yards. This time it's a 7-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd and 3 at the 40-yard line. And they're going to take Carson out for a spell here. And there's no C.J. Gray in the backfield either, so that means Devion Brown as the tailback. 2 receivers to the bottom, Josiah Walker and Deuce Mason. Devion Brown only picked up a yard there. I think Hugh Stone was supposed to pull a counter. What do you call that when the tight end comes?
I think it's just a regular motion. I don't think, because a counter would be if the running back takes a step one way and goes the other way. But I think it was just a regular tight end motion, and he's supposed to pick up somebody on the edge. But it's a great defensive play by Glen Allen. They noticed that Davion was in the backfield and only 2 receivers. They were like, this is probably a run. So they put 9 people in the box, 2 people guarding the receivers, and gambled really, and they paid off.
Well, and you're probably going to see more of that stack in the box since the Titans have still yet, in about 11 offensive plays, have yet to throw a pass. 3rd and 2. They run it again with Carson. He gets the first down, but a flag came in the area you would almost certainly expect a holding call. That's going to negate the first down when it is holding against the Titans. So that's a big penalty. I mean, he would have had the first down, got almost about the 30-yard line. Now it's going to march it back close to midfield and make it 3rd and long.
Just saw Glen Allen take off one of the bigger guys for a more slimmer linebacker, so they will be dropping into more of a dime coverage here.
Yeah, on this 3rd and 12, you would think that this would be a pass play. Not a great snap. Deke does get the pass off. He's looking for Devion Brown, and it's going to be a pass interference. And that's the one you see a lot at all levels of football, where it was a little bit underthrown, and when that receiver comes back to it, the corner just can't help but put hands on him. And I actually think that was going to come up short. I mean, from up here did not look like really a spiral, but they came out with a little bit of a funky spin on it. But the DB did not get his head turned around and saw Devion come back for the ball and just grabbed him.
Yeah, that's a tough ask for Deacon, though. It's cold. His hands are probably really feel like stone right now. And that's his first pass of the game, trying to throw it down 30 yards into double coverage. So they got it done, though.
They got it done. I mean, all you needed was a first down, and you got it with the 15-yard penalty to the 34. Carson Parks hits the hole, knocks over a defender, and he gained 8 yards on the play. And really, so far, for the vast majority of this first quarter, it's been Carson Parks picking up yards for the Titans, and receivers Jabari Harris and Davis Fisher picking up yards for the Jaguars. I mean, besides the 1 yard of C.J. Gray and the 9-yard touchdown run by Devion Brown, I think basically 3 players have accounted for all of the offensive yards. Now, Devion Brown this time is going to count for quite a few yards. He's going to get a first down. He's going to get Trinity into the red zone, and he's finally brought down at the 17-yard line, but that is another Titan first down.
I don't know if you noticed, but the Glen Allen coaches, there's like a coach in the black hoodie. They were pointing that side, left side, because they knew what play was coming. And Trinity's still able to pick up that first down.
JJ, how can you see every route? You see every lineman, and you're watching coaches. I mean, I feel like I do a pretty good job of taking in 3 or 4 things, but you got like 8 things going on in your brain, man. All right, in motion goes Deuce. They fake it to him, hand off to Carson, and really for the first time today, Carson Parks is going to be thrown for a loss of 2. Great job by Glen Allen's defense, led by Cooper McPherson.
Loss of about 3 yards, 2nd and 13 now for Trinity.
Under a minute to go in this first quarter, which feels like to me like this first quarter's really flown by up here.
50 seconds and counting left here in the first quarter.
Deuce goes in motion again on the 2nd and 13. Carson Parks runs right, breaks 1 tackle, but good job there by Dandridge. That's Jaleel Dandridge with the tackle. Jacob Boyd also was part of that tackle, and He gained 3 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 10. And not sure they're going to get a playoff before this quarter runs out, as we're down into the last 5 seconds. And it doesn't look like they're in any hurry. So that is the end of the first quarter. So your score at the end of 1, Trinity Episcopal 7, Glen Allen High School 6. Titans are driving and are going to face a big 3rd down and 10 coming out of this quarter break. But while we have a minute, I've actually been wanting to talk about this. I started to right before kickoff, and the kickoff happened before I could really totally finish this thought, JJ. But this whole idea of a public versus a private school football game, they just don't happen too much. I know St. Christopher's opened the year at Huguenot and got a win. I believe Collegiate played Goochland. I think I'm right about that. Our producer Briggs Pinar is going to look that up for me. Should have researched it pregame. But generally speaking, I mean, even in all my years covering Trinity football, we've not played very many, especially 5A or 6A public schools. And I just think it's great for high school sports in the area.
Yeah, same. I give the private schools a chance to play the big public schools. You know, in the rankings, Benedictine's up there, St. Chris is up there, Trinity's up there. So let them try and hang with the 6A and 5A teams. It doesn't really hurt anybody. I don't really see why you wouldn't want those games. It brings in money, as you can see Glen Allen charging for this game. And there's a lot of people here. Yeah. So, and it's just entertaining as well. We got an entertaining game right now. So like I said, I don't see why they don't have more public versus private school games.
Yeah, I love it. And for the private schools, most of which don't have lights, St. Christopher's would be the exception, of course. And we were obviously there last week. But Collegiate, Benedictine, Trinity, all are day games. And so it's also fun for our guys to get a chance to play under the lights here at Glen Allen. And yeah, thanks to Briggs, it was actually Albemarle High School, which is a public school up in Charlottesville, of course, that Collegiate opened with. I know in the past they have played Goochland, but thanks to Briggs for correcting me on that one. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, we don't see much of it, but I'm really happy to see it here tonight. And at least through 1 quarter, it's been super competitive. And yeah, I mean, just looking at Benedictine's schedule, they did play at Matoaka, so it's kind of been for all of, I guess, what you would call the big 4 Richmond private school football programs. Each have had that one public school game on the schedule this year. Benedictine at Matoaka, Collegiate at Albemarle, St. Christopher's at Huguenot, and Trinity Episcopal here at Glen Allen. And I just think it's great. You know, it's like when you see like ACC versus SEC games that we get a little bit early in the season in college football, and then, of course, late in the season on rivalry weekend with like Clemson versus South Carolina, Florida State, Louisville versus Kentucky, games like that. It's just a nice kind of, apples to oranges where and there's not too much, in my opinion, to lose for either side. It's a fun opportunity for these kids, who a lot of whom know each other, to just sort of test each other and also get some bragging rights. All right, big play coming up here to start the first quarter. Titans did burn a timeout there. Another snap that was a little hard for Deke. He's just going to throw it up for Devion Brown. That's great coverage. I mean, that really is a great job by Jakeem Dandridge. There are not many guys that can cover Devion Brown one-on-one, and they left him out there on an island. It's a good pass by Deke. I mean, he gave his receiver a chance. Pretty much just a classic jump ball fade route to the far corner, and great job by Dandridge. And we hear the Glen Allen student section chant overrated, and might be a little early to make that claim against 4-star Devion Brown and Penn State commit, who has now reopened his recruitment with the firing of James Franklin. All right, on 4th and 10. This time it goes to Devion Brown on a receiver screen, and he's going to take it all the way. I would be really careful calling that man overrated. And he took that personal and took that to the house. 17 yards for a Titan touchdown.
Yeah, it's a great play there by the Titans. They set up the blocking, get Devion out in space. He cuts it back up the middle, which you don't really see on screens. You want him to get to the outside, but he saw a lane, and you're not going to be mad at him if he scores. It goes up the middle. But going back to the last play, it was great 2 plays in a row by the Dandridge brothers. They've clearly been taught well. That coverage was like Pat Surtain-esque, Sauce Gardner-esque. So, yeah, it's great coverage.
Yeah, it was. It's been fun so far. I mean, both teams have gone up and down the field. Titans, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Glen Allen got a big chunk play on their first drive before it stalled out, and then their touchdown drive. So A lot of offensive fireworks early as Evan Goldschmidt's extra point is good. And that increases Trinity Episcopal's lead to 14-6. And I'm excited to see this Glen Allen offense back on the field. Like we said, their quarterback, Luke Perini, threw for over 100 yards in the first quarter. Really 3 passing plays of 30 yards or more already for Glen Allen. And I don't think the Titan secondary has been tested like that so far this season.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I think Coach Wiley will have them sit in more of a cover 4 type coverage, the corners playing off, because they have clearly seen something on film that they like, and they're just attacking the deep ball, attack. And they're specifically attacking Josiah Walker, which they do have a height advantage on. It's like not a skill thing, it's just a height advantage thing that most teams like to try and take advantage of. But like I said, they've seen something on film that they like, and they're just going firecrackers, really.
Yeah, and I would be careful testing Josiah too much. I mean, that dude has the heart of a lion. He's on the shorter side, like like all of us up here, but he is a tough guy. He's going to be a college football player, no doubt in my mind. But they got a couple explosive receivers on this Glen Allen roster in Jabari Harris and Davis Fisher. Goldschmidt's kick, end over end. Inside the 5 again. It's a better return than the last one for Glen Allen. They get it out to the 25, but so far the Titan kick coverage has been pretty solid.
Yeah, 9 people to the ball in that play. Only Evan was expected to not go all the way up there. He was supposed to be the last man, but 9 out of the 10 people on that play. So great job by the Titan special teams coverage.
All right, to be right at the 25-yard line. First and 10 Jaguars. Perini tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. And Trey Cherry, I'm guessing?
Yeah, with Michael Gibbs. He's having a great game so far. Michael had a knee injury last week that he played through and is still playing through it now, but he's playing very well. He's been able to stuff up a couple of those quarterback design runs that I've seen on film while watching Glen Allen, and like I said, he's just having a great game.
Oh, you're grinding film of our opponents now.
Gots to.
That's awesome. 2nd and 10. Glen Allen definitely has not been able to get anything going in the run game. Perini rolls right. Kean Montgomery is closing in. And Perini picked up a pretty decent gain. I mean, the DBs all just kept running with the receivers and almost looked like they lost sight of the quarterback. Kean had eyes on him, and Kean ran all the way across the field and was about to lay the hit on him, but then Perini stepped out. But he got a 6-yard gain and makes it 3rd and a very manageable 4 for the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's tough for the DBs in that man coverage when the quarterback rolls out, because if you leave your man, you're getting in more trouble than not leaving your man.
On 3rd and 4, the one thing you really don't want to do if you're Trinity is jump off sides. And Perini went with a hard count and a hard clap, and not for the first time this year, Maddox Patrick jumps off sides. I guess me giving him a hard time at school every day about jumping off sides a couple games ago hasn't sunk in, or maybe it became a prophecy, I don't know. But that's a penalty that is going to drive Coach Mickens and Coach Wally crazy to give up a first down just on a simple hard count. That's a basketball player out there.
Yeah, I was about to say first year playing football, so not really into the discipline mindset that most football players have yet.
Perini looks to throw. He is going to get sacked. Big loss. Kean Montgomery almost got him on the previous play, and there was no stopping him there. And Miles Love knocked Kean over in the celebration. But that was a loss of 8 on the play.
Yeah, in my opinion, he was due to make a play. The left tackle has been struggling to block Kean the whole game, and Kean's really fast off the edge, so it's very hard to block him. But Kean gives him a good little rip move and gets to the quarterback.
Kean is so good. Screen, well blocked. This is a good play, big hit. And, of course, that's Trey Cherry, as it often is with the big hits. And he picked up a gain. So it was an 8-yard loss previously. So that looks like about an 11-yard gain. As Glen Allen looks to go no huddle. Oh, Maddox flinched, but this time he stayed in his stance. It's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, I was looking directly at him because I knew they were going to go hard count, and I was just like, please don't jump.
On 3rd and 7, he gets a little bit of time, but the pocket's breaking down. Perini's throw is caught for a first down. Tackle made by Khalid Rayner, but it is Jabari Harris for his second big catch of the game. That's a 13-yard gain, and it was 2nd and 18, and at that point you really felt like the Titans would have a good chance to get off the field, but no, 2 straight positive gains for Glen Allen, and they're into Titan territory.
Yeah, in my opinion, Luke is playing at a college level right now, able to roll out, extend the play, find a man downfield, not panic like most quarterbacks would, just tuck it down and try and run. He found a man and picked up that first down.
Jacob Boyd with the carry there for a 4-yard gain, and other than quarterback runs, that's the best run we've seen from the Jaguars so far. 2nd and 6. Well, it was play action to nobody, but the play still goes for a positive gain, and it looked like some confusion as Perini faked the handoff, but there was no one to fake it to. And I thought that play might break down, but it seemed like it confused Trinity just as much as Glen Allen. So they still picked up a 3-yard gain to make it 3rd and 3. That was another catch by Davis Fisher, who's had himself a night already with still 8+ minutes to go till halftime.
Yeah, it's also fortunate that the play call was like a short pass. So none of the linemen were too far downfield to where it would be a flag on the play. So good job to the linemen, I guess.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's the exact type of play that you would see ineligible downfield. This is a straight QB run to Perini, and he is going nowhere. Trey Cherry followed not too far behind by Miles Love. I love watching Trey Cherry play football. He just has a nose for the ball. He gets to where he needs to get. 4th down, they're going to go for it. 4th and 3, as that was no gain by Perini. And JJ, I'd say this is a pretty big play in the ball game for this early going. Glen Allen needs to match the Titans, who scored on both possessions. This is a hit and incomplete as Ben Rosen got in there and applied the pressure. And a really good job by Ben, too, not to rough the quarterback. He struck him right where you're allowed to in that midsection. And he might have had a receiver open there. I think if Ben doesn't get the hit on him, that probably is a first down. So Coach Wally Rayner, defensive coordinator Wally Rayner, brought the blitz. And Ben Rosen made the big play. Great to see Ben get in the backfield there if you're a Titan fan.
Yeah, great defensive play there by Coach Wally. You bring the blitz on 4th and short so the quarterback doesn't have time to sit in the pocket and have your corners covering all day. So, yeah, like I said, great play call. Credit to Ben Rosen for not hitting him high or hitting him low. Just getting, like you said, right in the midsection. And Trinity has a chance here to really blow a big hole in this game and get the ball at halftime.
And speaking of Ben Rosen, got to see his older brother, Will Rosen, on the sideline before the game. Will is playing at the University of Virginia. He's not traveling yet, so with the Wahoos down in Chapel Hill this weekend, he didn't make the trip, so he's here watching Lil Bro play, but really proud of Will and everything he's doing up in Charlottesville, and knocking on all the wood here, but great start so far for the 6-1, 16th ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Really unfortunate penalty to start this drive for the Titans. So they're going to start 1st and 15. And they still look a little confused here on the opening play of this drive. Carson Parks has nowhere to go. Good job, William Agbana with the tackle. That was a loss of a yard. So it'll be 2nd and 16. Titans taking their time. think we'll see a pass play here. Oh, actually, a little inside handoff. And Devion Brown, he could go. I think he will go. 64 yards. And for the second time tonight, Devion Brown is, for the third time tonight, Devion Brown is in the end zone. And he looks fired up. Do not call that man overrated.
Yeah, these coaches on the sideline are frustrated. I saw coaches throwing stuff, throwing their hats, talking trash. It's just because they probably told the entire defense before the game, you have to stop Devion Brown. You cannot let him take over this game. Like you said, 3 touchdowns in the first half. That's just insane.
Yeah, so it was a handoff to Carson Parks, who then handed it off to Devion Brown. And once he hit that hole and broke that one tackle, no one's going to catch him. I mean, we saw that last week at St. Christopher's with one of the most unbelievable runs I've ever seen. I mean, if you take a photograph, when he was in midfield, you would have thought there were 3 guys that would get him, and he just outran the angles. Low but good extra point by Evan Goldschmidt makes it 21-6, and the third rushing touchdown of the first half. 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown for Devion Brown, and gives him 32 receiving touchdowns on his career, and then also however many rushing. We'll get on that. Okay, Carter Tyree's telling me 14 rushing touchdowns career, plus 30. That's 46 plus his kick returns and a pick 6. So he's over 50 touchdowns for his high school career.
Yeah, Trinity's offensive coordinators clearly had a game plan. They said, last game we didn't get him the ball enough. This game we need to get him the ball whenever we can. And like you said, he's made the most of it, which he usually does when he gets the ball. But like you said, 3 touchdowns, and he's only had about 4 carries. So 3 touchdowns and 4 carries is, like I said, just phenomenal.
All right, Evan Goldschmidt is now for his 4th kickoff of the game. The first have all gone inside of the 5, but none has made it to the end zone. And this one, really same spot, caught it about the 1 or 2, dropped, but picked up. Good tackle. KJ Harris got there first. Trey Cherry got in there too. He wanted a part of the action.
Yeah, I think he has about 6 tackles on the game already, which is insane for 2 quarters, maybe even 1.5 quarter of play. You got about 3 tackles per, 8 minutes you're playing?
Right.
Like that?
Exactly. So 6:26 to go till halftime. Glen Allen will take over inside their own 20, and the Titans' kickoff coverage has continued to be excellent and put Glen Allen in rough field position all night. Short gain, maybe no gain at all on the handoff. And looked to me like Trey Cherry was in there again. Perini rolls right again. It's a good throw and a good catch by Fisher. Close to a first down. I think he got it. And yes, they are going to move the chain. So on 2nd and 10, sorry, I checked that. That was Jabari Harris on that one. Timeout call by the Titans. Their 2nd timeout of this first half will leave Trinity with 1 to go. And I want to thank everybody who's tuned in tonight. Really appreciate y'all spending your Friday night with us. Really appreciative to both athletic departments. Generally speaking, here at TESPN, we broadcast all the home events that we can and all the home football games, but taking the show on the road is definitely more complicated, more moving parts. And so really appreciative of our whole crew that's up here. Will Hampton, man in the camera, Briggs Pinar producing, and Carter Tyree making it all happen. But also I just want to thank the Glen Allen Athletic Department for allowing us to be here tonight, and also for Trinity Athletic Director Adam Lonan and Assistant Athletic Director Garrett Compton for working out all the particulars so that we could bring this coverage to you. A lot went into it, so just want to take this time out to thank everybody that made this possible so that you could spend your Friday night with us under the lights here watching the Jaguars and the Titans. And coming out of the timeout, it is 1st and 10. Jaguars. Perini steps up. He's under a lot of pressure. Kean Montgomery again doesn't get to him. It's going to be incomplete. Yeah, incomplete. Good throw by Perini. I mean, I'm so impressed with him. And I think actually our whole crew up here, minus Tyree, are all Washington Commander fans. And Perini is giving me Taylor Heineke vibes. Like, he's a little undersized, but he's just got that, like, moxie. He's tough. He's not afraid to run in between the tackles. And if you – no, I mean, I still have a picture of Taylor Heineke in my classroom, so that's, for me, that's a big compliment. That run goes for not much, maybe a yard. No, JJ, if you give me a Jaden Daniels poster, I'll put that up, I promise.
I like the Commanders, but the Rams are my favorite team.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were a good guy.
The Commanders are like the second, third best. But yeah, like I said, I have no reason to hate them though.
Nor should anyone from Virginia. That's our team, man. All right, flag comes out, and it's gonna be actually timeout Titans. So was it a 12? They're going to have 12 men on the field? Yeah. So Coach Mickens forced to burn his final timeout of the first half to avoid that penalty. And while Trinity's played great, 3 offensive possessions, 3 touchdowns, as well as 2 big 4th down stops, there's also plenty for the coaches to say it has not been perfect. Given a first down off a penalty for an offsides, as well as having to burn multiple timeouts when you didn't want to, which they could potentially use if they had a late drive in this half. You also had, coming out in an offensive possession, a 5-yard penalty for, when you start a possession, you should have your things buttoned up. And on the last drive, Titans had to start 1st and 15. So it's great that you're winning if you're a Trinity coach, but at the same time, there's some things you got to clean up before the big game next week with undefeated Benedictine, as well as the playoffs. And on 3rd and 9, pass was incomplete, almost picked off by KJ Harris. So it'll be 4th and 9. And with the Jaguars in their own territory, we've yet to see them punt. They've gone for it on 4th down multiple times tonight, but they are going to bring the punting unit on. Weston Kitely is the punter. He's a junior.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's a lose-lose situation. You don't want to go for it and not get it. Then you give him the ball at the 35, but now you got to punt it to Davion, who's already scored 3 touchdowns. And you give the Titans a chance, if they don't score on this kickoff, to get a 2-for-1.
Not a great snap either. Good job by Kitely to scoop it up. And Davion Brown called for a fair catch, but it didn't quite get to him, so it'll be downed by, I believe, Jabari Harris, the receiver who we've seen with several big catches today, was the one that got down there. Oh, no, sorry, that was a 9. That's Cooper McPherson. Sorry, the 9 looked like a 0 at first. So Cooper McPherson down that punt at the 45. All things considered, from a Glen Allen standpoint, probably a best-case scenario. Fat Rat doesn't get his hands on the ball, and you get a decent punt, about 26 yards. So the Titans get it in. Still good field position, but not great. But the field position has been the story all night. Glen Allen has started every drive at their own 25 or worse. Titans have started every drive at least the, I think, 34 or better. And that's been a big tail in this game. CJ Gray, little toss play. CJ hits the hole. He picked up 6 and may have lost his helmet. No, that wasn't him. I thought I saw a helmet fly off. But a good gain for CJ. He gets 7 yards. And I'm a big fan of CJ Gray as a running back and as a kid. I mean, he's just super humble, works hard, loves football. And I'm just really glad he's healthy again. This means so much to him. And I know it killed him to have to miss a couple of games.
Yeah, that combo, like I said, it's like if Jahmyr Gibbs went without David Montgomery, or if David Montgomery went without Jahmyr Gibbs. They're just so good together, like you said, right there on that run.
Yeah, that's another great pickup by CJ. He just hits the hole so quickly. Another 11 yards for him on that one. And as we get down toward the business end of the season, when the lights are shining brightest, Titans have their biggest rivalry game of the season next week. Senior Day, Benedictine, with so much on the line, including probably the 1 seed in the state playoffs and then the playoffs themselves. You want to be clicking on all cylinders, and having CJ as that counter balance to Carson Parks. Plus, we've seen what Devion Brown can do in the run game. This time it's Deke Scogan, the quarterback, running. It's not a great snap. I think it was meant to be a handoff to CJ Gray, but because of the errant snap, Deke really just had to tuck it and run, and he ended up making a positive play out of it with a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, it was a very positive play. It was a bad snap there, but Deacon able to corral it. He tried to hand it off to CJ, but a little bit of a miscommunication. In that situation, you don't really have time to think and be like, oh, who can I pass it to? Who can I try and get the ball out of my hands? Like, no, you got to go. And Deacon is like a field general. He has no problem with taking the ball and running through the hole and taking a hit for his team.
A little bit of confusion for which side Josiah Walker was going to line up here in this formation on 2nd and 5. Handoff to Carson Parks. He's close to and gets the first down. It was 2nd and 5. He picked up 6. Finally brought down to the 26. And you mentioned a bad snap on that last one. Miles Love, the center for this Titan team, has been pretty much perfect this season. And if you talk to anybody on the Titan O-line or coaching staff, they'll tell you Miles Love has been the quarterback, quote-unquote, of the O-line. But he has had 3 or 4 snaps tonight that have not been his best.
I mean, it's cold out here, you know. The ball gets a little not really sticking to the hands and just kind of floats off when you snap it back. So, like you said, he's been solid all season, just unlucky.
Good job by the Jaguar defense there. Devion Brown runs for no gain. In fact, I think he lost a yard. Brandon Turner made the tackle. Senior for the Jaguars.
You said Miles has been playing like really good all season. Really, everybody's been playing really good on the Trinity offense all season, which is something that most high school teams cannot say. You know, Davion obviously doing very well. Deuce Mason had a big game versus North Cross. The offensive line hadn't given up many sacks before that St. Chris game. Huey and Sam at tight end have been doing very well. So really everybody.
Looking for Deuce Mason, who you just talked about, and in and out of the hands. And that was a really incredible throw by Deke. Deuce had it and just couldn't hang on. And it's going to make it 3rd and 11. But, yeah, I mean, one thing I just thought of when we were talking about what a balanced offense it's been for the Titans, 2 Trinity players have been the Times-Dispatch Player of the Week this season, twice. Deuce Mason and Carson Parks. So the fact that Titans have had 2 of the Offensive Player of the Week, and it has not been Devion Brown yet for this season, just tells you a lot about the balance and weapons that this offense has, and they're going to need them on this 3rd and 11. Hand off to Carson Parks, a good hole. He's going to get the first down. He's going to get more. He's going to score a touchdown, but there is a flag on the play, and it was sort of in that 2nd level, so it's going to be a hold. I'm not sure that hold had a huge impact on the play either. Maybe it did, but it looked to me like Carson was gone regardless. But I think Sam DeFrancesca, who was into that 2nd level, is going to be the one who's tagged for it.
Yeah, I think Coach Deakins is the one calling the plays, but all the offensive coaches are helping each other, and that was an amazing play call. They saw that the coach, they saw the safety was playing over top of Davion out of side of the box, and they just ran it right up the middle. And the safety, once Carson beats those 2 linebackers and D linemen, he can't come all the way over and tackle Carson before he gets into the end zone. So it was a great play call and great execution by the Titans.
Yeah, so it's 10 yards from the spot, which the spot looked like it was a few yards ahead of the original line of scrimmage. So still felt like if there was a hold, I thought it was a little further down the field, but ultimately the result of that penalty, instead of the touchdown, it's going to be 3rd and 19. The clock, by the time this ball is snapped, will be under a minute to go. Titans with no timeouts left. And I think they want to make sure that Glen Allen doesn't get their hands back on the football. The handoff to Brown. He breaks one tackle, breaks another, breaks it to the outside, and on 3rd and 19, he got the first down, but another flag, and I see literally 4 Trinity players with their palms to the air asking, what did we do? What are you seeing? JJ, you're the man that sees everything. What did you see on that?
I saw nothing. I think maybe they got Sam again. He's talking to the officials, but like I said, I didn't pick up anything on that play. There was a lot of conjunction, so I'm not sure what the call was.
Okay, so it was 3rd and 19. It's going to be 3rd and 19 again, which means that hold must have happened 10 yards down the field.
Oh.
So it was a receiver. Looks like probably it was actually Deuce Mason called for the hold there, so not a great drive for him with drop of what would have been a touchdown and now negating the 3rd and 19. Another double handoff. This time it's Josiah Walker. He's going to get the first down. I do not see a flag this time. The clock should stop while they move the chain, so it'll be first down at the 15 and 14 actually. So a 20-yard handoff to Josiah. I love that play.
Yeah, that's a great play. The reverses that they're running. Just get one fast player going, and the old defense is converging to that side, then get the other one going.
They look for Josiah. It's intercepted in the end zone. That was, I think, Jalik Gilliam with the pick. And no, that's 5. Sorry. It's Jakeem Dandridge, excuse me. Struggling to read these numbers from up here, but it's Dandridge with the interception. I don't mind the play call. I mean, the clock was running short, less than 20 seconds. You had no timeouts. You go for the end zone with Josiah, who just had a big play for you. And they're actually going to mark him. They're going to actually mark him out at the 1. I thought it was going to come out to the 20. Looked to me like he intercepted that in the end zone, but doesn't. I mean, well, if Titans get a safety, it will make a big difference. But now timeout Glen Allen. So again, we don't have replay up here. Initially, I thought he intercepted in the end zone and it would come out to the 20, which I still don't think they would have had time to push for a score, but at least you can feel good about taking a knee. But with the ball at your own 1, I mean, this is not like Glen Allen's got to be really careful here not to give up an extra 2 points before halftime. It's also important because at 21-6, this is still a 2-possession game. If the Titans could get a safety, and they've had a lot of tackles for losses, that would make it 23-6, and that would take it up to a 3-possession game at 17 points.
Yeah, this is a very conflicting situation. I'm trying to decide if Coach Wiley will send the blitz and trust his DBs, or just sit back and just have his front 3 of the D linemen and maybe 2 linebackers try and go to work. I think I will go with the second option. The D line has been getting pressure all game without many blitzes, and the defensive backs have been struggling a tiny bit. So, like I said, I do think he'll just send 5 and let his DBs make a play.
I'd send the blitz. I mean, I don't know if he will, but I would But I mean, yeah, they're in that kind of victory formation. So I mean, Glen Allen is just going to try and kneel it and make sure they don't kneel it in their own end zone, and they push. Well, I don't know. Titan defenders are signaling safety, but they do say that he got out of the end zone. And when you see where this ball is spotted, I mean, it is as close to the end zone as possible. So potentially a break for Glen Allen there. I mean, we're certainly in no position to question the call, but the Titans seem pretty convinced it could have been a safety. Ultimately, though, still a good first half for Trinity, and the Titans have bounced back from last week's disappointing loss at St. Christopher's to have a 21-6 halftime lead. And before we take our halftime break, JJ, I'll just ask you, what stands out to you from that first half?
What stands out to me is the play calling that the Titans have had on offense and on defense. They sent the blitzes at the right time. They dropped back into coverage at the right time. They've ran the ball at the right time, and they threw the ball at the right time. So basically the moral story is everything has been done at the right time when it needs to be done, and it's been executed to perfection by Trinity's offense. The defense has been playing well, but we expect that from them at this point. They've been playing well all season.
Yeah, I think that's all. I agree with all that. Really good job by of calling the game by both offense and defensive coaching staff. And I think the Titans players look really focused to me. I mean, obviously, extreme disappointment about losing that undefeated record with the loss at St. Christopher's last week. And you could sense that at school. I think Monday and Tuesday, I felt like players could barely look me in the eyes. They were so bummed out. So to bounce back from that, dust themselves off, and come out with overall a really strong first half is a positive thing. So we got the impressive marching band of the Jaguars coming out. And this halftime can be a little bit longer than what we are typically used to.
25 minutes.
With 25 minutes. So we're going to take that opportunity to maybe get a snack and hydrate. We'll keep the stream rolling, but you will not hear our voices for at least about 20 minutes or so. And then we will, of course, be back to bring you second half action. And stick around. Should be a good one.
Up next, we have Willie Allen, escorted by parents David and Macy. Biggest accomplishments of high school include giving a 10-minute-long TED Talk in front of the school, organizing and maintaining most of the band's music library and inventory, and playing all grade 6s at assessment last year. Plans after high school include attending college, hopefully you'll be married, to major in psychology, pursuing a master's or doctorate to become a therapist or a psychologist. Up next is Jubilee Appia, escorted by Dad, Alexander. Biggest accomplishments of high school include becoming a certified nursing assistant, becoming a historian for the African Student Union, and learning an entire movement of drill in one day. After high school, Jubilee plans to go to VCU for pre-med, plans to go to medical school and become a neonatologist. Up next is Wes Boggs, escorted by parents Melanie and Bill. Wes's biggest accomplishments of high school include obtaining a reputation for playing his trombone very loudly, successfully giving a TED Talk twice, and taking his shirt off during last year's dance battle. Plans after high school include hopefully attending JMU to study secondary education. Up next is Jake Goodra, escorted by parents Kim and Dave. Jake's biggest accomplishments of high school include getting accepted into the Automotive ACE Center program, working on his Eagle Scout project, and marching bass drum 5 for 3 years. After high school, Jake plans on becoming an automotive technician and working at a local Ford dealership. Up next is Benjamin Eckhart, escorted by parents Amy and Kim. Benjamin's biggest accomplishments of high school include thriving in a prestigious marching band, catching up on all his work, and against all odds, making it up to his senior year. After high school, Benjamin plans to take a year off and find a career where my music talents can shine. Up next is Brady Gore, escorted by parents Wendy and Tony. Brady's biggest accomplishments at high school include playing varsity lacrosse, being all-state eligible on French horn, and being a 2-year section leader. After high school, Brady plans to study sports management at a 4-year college. Up next is Owen Halverson, escorted by parents Kevin and Amanda. Owen's biggest accomplishments at high school include achieving superior in marching assessment multiple times, participating in various clubs and honor societies, and meeting lifelong friends. After high school, Owen plans on pursuing a major in mechanical engineering. Up next is Jack Kyle, escorted by parents John and Janelle. Biggest accomplishments at high school for Jack include winning first place stance in battle of the classes sophomore year, scoring at regionals and lacrosse sophomore year, and leading the low read section for the past 2 years. After high school, Jack plans to study business and play hockey at Virginia Tech, and also keep cooking and travel the world. Up next is Sari Jaber, escorted by parents Reggie and Sarah. Sari's biggest accomplishments at high school include co-leading the percussion section to a record-high percussion score for our school, surviving junior year with all A's, and creating memories with the best friends he's ever had. After high school, Sari plans to go to a 4-year college to study biology and attend dentistry school. Up next is Ace Johnson, escorted by Mark and Crystal, his parents. Ace's biggest accomplishments at high school include balancing school, working, and activities responsibly. Up next is Jojo Longobardo, escorted by mom. Art and Writing National Gold You may take the field in exhibition.
Fight for your inner light begins.
All right, second half kickoff fielded by the Titans. Deuce Mason, decent return, and it'll be yet again, JJ, good field position for Trinity Episcopal. They've really been in great field position all night, and they're going to start the second half out at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, it also always helps when you get that good field positioning. If I were to do a prediction on the plus or minus on field position, I'd say Trinity has about 60 more yards combined starting compared to Glen Allen. So that always helps to get the offense going, first of all, so you're not pushed all the way back. And it opens up the playbook as well. You're in the middle of the field. You can have basically all the plays you want, really, to run.
All right, Titans coming out. 2 receivers to the near side. Tight end Huey Stone on the right. Handoff goes to Carson Parks, and he picked up 5 yards on first down in the first play of the second half. And it's a little bit of an extra long halftime, but a nice performance by Glen Allen's marching band. And just good fun environment down there. Big crowd here tonight at Glen Allen. Saw a lot of Trinity people, saw a lot of Glen Allen people, and saw a lot of Benedictine people.
Yeah, I heard Tyrese say that there was Benedictine kids when he went down there to go get something to eat, maybe. I'm not sure what he was doing, but yeah.
Yeah, doing a little scouting for next week's big game, and I'm sure all of Titan Nation as well as the cadets are hoping to get through tonight and keep this lead and stay healthy, and that's going to be a battle. Trinity, of course, 6-1 right now. If they can maintain this double-digit lead and take it home, will be 7-1, and Benedictine comes in at 8-0 right now. So that's one that, even if both teams are winless, is the biggest game on your schedule. And then with both teams being super successful, we're really excited for that one. But still a long way to go here, and Carson Parks continues to churn out yards for the Titans, and he picked up the first down and into Jaguar territory at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, when it's cold like this, you need your running back to be on his A game, and Carson Parks is really always on his A game. Even on the second down run, he had 4 people really on his back, and he was still able to fall forward, like I've been saying all season. So just a great running back and someone that college coaches should be looking out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you get a chance to check out the interview that we had with him after the Flint Hill game, as Carson runs it again for 3 yards. Yeah, Glen Allen fired up on the sidelines and on the field. But yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, find our interview with Carson Parks after the Flint Hill game. And I just loved what he said about his line, about his team. And the thing that really just resonated with me that I'll never forget is just how he talked about he's just living his dream. This is what he always wanted, to be part of a brotherhood, to be part of a program and play a key role. And just as a fan of high school sports, just love to hear it. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, you know you're having a good game when you run for 4 yards, and the defense is still hyped that they were able to only contain you to those 4 yards.
Yeah, if you ran for 4 yards every play, you'd end up in the end zone at the end of every drive. This time it's a pickup of only 1 yard for Parks. And I definitely do feel like Glen Allen is showing a little more emotion. They just look a little more fired up, flying around on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm sure their coaches at that long halftime were telling them, we're still in this game. We get a stop on this first possession, and we'll, we even though we only have 6 points, our offense has moved the ball effectively. See the guys on the Glen Allen sideline jumping up and down. On this 3rd and about 5, another high snap. Deke hits Houston. Huey fights for and gets a first down. There is a flag.
I think even if he doesn't get that, Trinity's offense is going for it. I think this was always 4-down territory in this situation.
Holding on the defense.
Yeah.
So I think Huey picked up the first down on 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I actually saw the holding that he's talking about. Both Davion and I think it was number 5, Jakeem, were like blocking each other while Davion was trying to go out for his route. And usually the defender gets penalized in that situation more than the wide receiver does.
Yeah, that's why I was curious if they were, because I saw the same thing, that they were locked up, and I was like, could this be offensive pass interference? But no, indeed it is defensive holding, which they're actually going to tack on to the end of the run. So that's going to be a super positive play for the Titans, and it's going to take it all the way to the 22-yard line of Glen Allen. Whistles blow. Don't see a flag, though. I think this might, JJ, be about where they've spotted the ball after that penalty. It's a long delay to try and figure this out. But the officials want to make sure they get it right. Long delay continues. So yeah, I was curious seeing a lot of those Benedictine players at halftime. I was like, do they have a bye week? But they play Woodbury for us tomorrow, and of course Woodbury only has one loss to this very Trinity Episcopal team. So
if Benedictine lose that game, what happens?
It's a really good question. I mean,
does St. Chris go to 1? No, because they lost to Benedictine and Woodbury.
Yeah,
so would Woodbury go to 1?
No,
they don't play in the playoffs.
Woodbury doesn't do the playoffs, like we talked about before, because they play their annual end-of-season game with Episcopal, which they choose to not move around and thus not compete for the state playoffs. So I think even with a loss, I think Benedictine would stay 1. I mean, in my opinion, they would have 1 loss, and Trinity would have 1 loss. But the only, well, I mean, it's tough, though, because they would each have lost to a team the other one beat. And then I actually didn't see this week's poll. Did St. Christopher's jump ahead of Trinity?
Yeah, I would think so.
CJ Gray with the run. But by the way, just to clean up from that last play, I think they gave the extra 10 yards, but they gave Trinity 10 too many yards. And I think the side judge figured it out. So I actually heard the PA announcer say 10 yards being marked off, but I'm not sure why. But I think they just gave an extra 10 that they didn't mean to, or they shouldn't have originally, and then they just took it back. So anyway, it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 30. CJ Gray looking to bounce it outside. Well defended by the Jaguars. It's number 9 again, Cooper McPherson. He's had a lot of tackles so far.
Yeah, and this half is moving way faster than this quarter is moving way faster than the other. It's already down to 7 minutes, and we've only seen about 5 plays.
I was going to say, I was just thinking the same thing, that it's been, once again, like the opening drive, all running plays. So this clock has just continued to churn. And with a 15-point lead, if you're a Trinity fan, you want to see that clock keep moving.
I was wondering if they were going to put Davion in more of a slot position, because it's a lot harder to double team somebody in the slot.
3rd and 11. Short pass to Josiah Walker across the middle for very little gain. Maybe a yard. might have gotten that pass off maybe a little quicker. I thought Deuce Mason was breaking open in the secondary, and perhaps if Deke had held on to it just a little bit longer, he would have had that opportunity. But it's going to be 4th and 10, no sign of a punter. I mean, it's the 32-yard line. It's too far for a field goal. I mean, Evan Goldschmidt has a great leg, but you're looking at about a 50-yard field goal on a cold night.
In high school football.
So 4th and 10, Jaguars fans getting loud beneath us. Deke's pass, incomplete, but a flag is going to come out. Pass interference. And I don't think that the Glen Allen fans are too happy
even
about
as
that.
a Trinity fan, I don't really like that call. Cornerback made great play on the ball, and the ball was really uncatchable for Davion in that situation. And so, the DB just fighting through the hands. Didn't really seem like he held him too much, but I guess the ref saw something that we didn't see, and it resulted in a late flag.
Yeah, it definitely has the Glen Allen faithful pretty fired up. And it is pass interference, and that's a huge penalty. I mean, fourth down there, Jaguars would have taken over in decent field position, would have actually been their best field position of the night. Instead, it marches it all the way into the red zone. Trinity will have the ball at the 17-yard line with that 15-point lead. That's a huge swing in the game. And, I'm with you, JJ. I didn't see enough to warrant pass interference. I probably err on the side of the defender usually in those pass interference situations, even when I'm watching college and NFL games. A lot of times I think they're a little too quick with it. But that one, definitely, I understand why Glen Allen is upset. This is going to be a flag on the Titans, and they seem pretty pleased to be able to at least, not that this even evens it out, but I take that back. It's a sideline warning against Glen Allen. So
that was very unfortunate for the Titans because it looked like Deuce had a lot of space to run, and it was 2-on-2 blocking as well. So.
Yeah, so that it's actually going to be unsportsmanlike against the Glen Allen coaching staff, and they're still fired up about that pass interference and letting that be known. And now the head official is coming over. Yeah, I initially thought it was going to be some sort of motion against the Titans, but it's going to be half the distance. It'll move the ball inside the 10. It's at about the 8-yard line. 3 officials are meeting with the Glen Allen coaches right now. Looks to me like one of them is explaining what he saw in the PI. I think that the white hat is just trying to get him calmed down. And, from a coaching standpoint, you understand the frustration, obviously, and you want to be heard. I mean, I think the more the officials are able to dialogue with coaches, I think that usually is a good thing. And
they also kind of just gave Trinity a free timeout here, though.
That's a good point. That's a really good point,
that's
JJ.
Kind of like, as a player, that kind of like sucks when your coach gives you're already losing momentum, and now you give the offensive line a chance to rest. You gave Carson Parks a chance to rest. You gave Davion a chance to rest. So it's very, very
your point is well taken. And it gave them a chance to all huddle with the coaching staff and talk about what they want to do. So it's now 1st and goal from the 8. Hand off to Carson Parks. Another flag. This one I'm very sure will be holding against Trinity. And it is indeed holding on the Titans. And I don't know, JJ, I don't know if you're a student of the game, of course, but do you know, have you ever heard the term a Bronx cheer?
Nope.
So a Bronx cheer is like when fans when the ref finally makes a call their way, and it's one of those like, oh yeah, I feel like that's what we just heard from the Glen Allen fans.
Kind of like congratulations, you did your job or something.
Yeah, like slightly sarcastic.
Yep.
I assume it's I don't know the origin, but Bronx would be New York Yankees, I guess. Like when maybe the ump finally called a strike for their pitcher, like, that sort of over-the-top sarcastic clapping. But that's what we just got from Glen Allen. But, I don't blame him. That's a heck of a tackle as well by Glen Allen. I'm pretty sure that's Cooper McPherson, and I say that not because I could even see his number, but I could just tell from his celebration, because we've seen him make a bunch of big tackles, and he sort of celebrates the same way every time, with the flex, 2 fist pumps, and I love to see that emotion, not showing anybody up, just enthusiasm for playing the game of football on a Friday night with your brothers. Junior Cooper McPherson has been, for me, the standout defensive player for the Jaguars tonight.
Yeah, Trinity are taking all this time off the clock. It's about to be about 4:35 when this ball is snapped, and Glen Allen is not going to have much time to do anything if it keeps going at this rate.
Deke's pass is going nowhere. Sam DeFrancesca, his first reception of the night, but it's for a loss of 2. So I got to correct something. I think I said it was 1st and goal after the unsportsmanlike, but it was actually 1st and 1, right? So it had been at the 17. They marched it to the 8 with the half the distance. So it was never 1st and goal. That was my mistake. It was 1st and 1, but from 1st and 1, the Titans are now back to 3rd and 13.
Yeah, this is a tough situation. The crowd getting rowdy as well.
Not much for Carson Parks on the 3rd and long. They kept it on the ground. He picked up just a couple. Continue with the conservative play calling. And they are going to give Evan Goldschmidt a chance to kick a field goal that would make this a 3-score game.
This is a pretty good decision, in my opinion.
I think so, too. And Evan hasn't gotten an opportunity to kick many field goals this year. His extra points have been really good. But with big games coming up that you expect to be really close, could come down to the wire, I think getting him some experience kicking field goals is important. In addition to the 3 points would be important. And your offense has been going backwards. Almost blocked, but he got it off, and he got it through. Evan Goldschmidt, 35-yard field goal, increases the Titan lead to 24-6. And right before we came on the air, I was talking to Briggs up here, our producer, and JJ, as well as executive producer Carter Tyree. And I told him I was talking to Evan Goldschmidt's parents right before I got to the broadcast booth tonight, and they told me Evan is ready if called on. Like, he wants to kick a field goal. Trinity goes for it a lot on 4th down, and Evan has, I think, been itching to try one besides just the extra points and kickoffs that he routinely does. And he shows why. That was from the left hash. The high school hash marks are pretty wide. So not only did he have to have the leg to make that from 35, but he had to angle it in, and he had a really good rush coming from the side. I thought Glen Allen maybe was going to even block it. So credit to Evan for keeping his poise and adding those 3 points. And I think that's just going to be a confidence boost going into what I'm sure are going to be close games. And JJ will be on the broadcast next week and in the playoffs. And I just have a feeling Evan's going to have to make a big kick in one of these next 3 weeks.
Same, yeah. Like you said, the hash marks are pretty wide, so he had to get the distance and the trajectory on it. And like you said, he did a great job. His end over end and right where you want it.
Best kick return of the night by Jabari Harris. Still not great field position for Glen Allen, and they have been mired all night inside their own 30. But this one does bring it out to the 28-yard line, and believe it or not, that's the farthest they've had the opening field position yet. Everything has been 25 or worse so far. So first time we've seen Glen Allen and these offense, I mean, it's been a long time since these guys have touched the field. I mean, in real time, I'm talking like an hour.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, especially if you I'll finish that thought after this play. He rolls out. He's across the line of scrimmage, breaks a tackle, breaks another. What a run. Luke Perini, 12-yard gain, and he broke 2 tackles. Really impressed with Luke Perini yet again. Just I like this kid's style. But no, what I was going to say is if you take away that one kneel down they did when they took over at their own 1-yard line, I mean, the first half ended with a long Trinity drive that ended in the interception. And then the second half started with a nearly 10-minute Trinity drive, 10 minutes off the clock. But in real time with the official conference and,
Yep.
I mean, plus a 25-minute halftime, I mean, I truly think Glen Allen's offense did not touch the field for at least an hour, which I guess also means the Titan defense didn't either.
But I think the Titans defense has an advantage here. Most of these players on defense only play one way. They don't go both ways. But I see a bunch of Glen Allen players playing.
Most picked off by Khalid Rayner.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
coverage.
both. I was gonna say the Trinity players don't play both ways a lot, and the Glen Allen players have a bunch of players that do.
Yeah. So, right, it's not like they're totally cold, but it's just, it's a rhythm thing to me, is because they moved the ball effectively in the first half. Only the 6 points to show for it, but a number of chunk plays. The quarterback, Perini, had an incredible first quarter with over 100 yards passing. Didn't see the ball as much in the second quarter, but I just feel like they were in a good rhythm. And on a chilly evening, that rhythm got disrupted. We'll see if they can pick it back up. Third down here. They go long. Great coverage. No PI. And that is Bullock. That is Marquise Bullock. Really good coverage.
Yeah.
One-on-one to his favorite receiver. And great job by Bullock.
Yeah, fought through the hands of the ball. Had a little bit of a hand on it, which most fans do try and warrant as pass interference. As we saw over there, he had a hand on him, but I didn't think it was pass interference, and neither do I think that play was as well. Great coverage by Bullock.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect coverage. It's going to bring up a really critical fourth down. If you're a Glen Allen fan, you're trailing by 18 in a game that to me has felt closer than the score. It has not been domination by the Titans, but you got to get this to really realistically keep your hopes alive. And it was a well-designed play as tight end came open. And Perini, who's been excellent all night, just overthrew Cooper McPherson. So Titans will take over yet again in great field position. We do have a Glen Allen Jaguar down. Kind of seems like cramping. Oh yeah, it's the classic cramping as they try and get him stretched out. So that first possession for the Titans of the second half ran 9 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock, right? So I mean, they got the ball with 12 minutes and gave it up with 2:37. They're now getting it back with 1:32. So Glen Allen only ran a minute and 5 seconds off the clock. I mean, the time of possession, I think you mentioned at halftime, I think you said that you thought Trinity had a bigger time of possession in the first half.
Yeah. I don't think I talked
obviously
about
with the
that.
rushing. Oh, you talked about the total yards,
but still, I agree.
but point is the same, that Trinity, who's kept it on the ground, Glen Allen's, even their big plays have been quick passing, 330-plus yard pass plays. So we don't have the exact stats with us, but time of possession has got to be very lopsided in the Titans' favor. And I bet you they're just going to add to that here, and they're going to look to keep that ball on the ground. Although this would be a beautiful place for a shot, too, maybe a little play action. But I'm going to predict a run to Carson Parks. What do you think, JJ?
Yeah, I think a run, definitely. No need to take a shot. You've already taken 9 minutes off the clock. Why not take another 8 to 7 minutes off the clock here with your running back who's been doing very well all game?
And it is a run, and it is Carson Parks, and it is a solid gain of 3 yards. Glad you said 8 to 7 minutes and not 6 to 7, or we might have lost Briggs to laughter if you had said 6 or 7 minutes.
Not quite.
All right, it'll be 2nd and 6 or 7 here after the run by Carson Parks. This is a toss to Carson Parks. We've seen this play designed to C.J. Gray, but great job by the Jaguars defense.
Yeah, that was a great play. Once again, on these toss plays, they've been stretching it out, and the running backs aren't able to cut upfield to gain upfield yards. They're running side-to-side yards, so you probably gain about 8 yards laterally and no yards vertically, which doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a 6-yard loss. Make 3rd and 12. Under 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Josiah Walker checking in for Hugh Stone. It's a big size difference.
I think they might have a post route with Josiah open here.
Yeah, he's definitely one-on-one. Actually go with the wide receiver screen to Josiah, and it is well sniffed out by the Jaguars. I think, yeah, they did throw the flag, and I think that's going to be a late hit against the Titans.
I thought it would be on Landon Bell.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
And so it's going to be 4th and a ton. It's also the end of the third quarter, so they're going to have to flip the teams around. And we have yet to see Houston punt tonight, but we are going to.
Yeah, I think so.
So it was 3rd and 12. The play itself went for a 2-yard loss to make it 4th and 14. Tack on the 15-yard penalty, it's going to be 4th and 29. And the poor ref has to walk it all off down to the Titan 35. And then with the quarter ending, he's going to have to go 30 yards the other way. So the official's going to get their steps in, walking off all this penalty yardage. But as we head to the fourth quarter, and we'll see Houston in a second, JJ, your impressions of what we saw in the third quarter?
Well, honestly, it was just a pretty slow quarter. Trinity isn't trying to go for a deep shot. They're just trying to run this clock out like they did, like you said, 9 minutes and 20-something seconds of possession, and Glen Allen only had 1 minute, which is not what you want if you're a Glen Allen fan. You want to, of course, they had to try and score it quickly, but that 1 minute wasn't used effectively. It didn't get down the field and even threaten the Titans with a chance to score. So in this third quarter, it was, like I said, just very slow-paced. In this fourth quarter, since Trinity do have to punt here, Glen Allen will be trying to go for a deep shot, and if they do get the touchdown, they will be onside kicking it. I do think Trinity are in a great position to win. A lot would have to go wrong for them to lose, but we saw a lot go wrong versus Benedictine last year.
We did indeed, JJ. A 21-point lead with 8 minutes left that ended in, I don't think it's recency bias to say, as it's almost a full year on now, the most heartbreaking loss I've ever seen as a Trinity sports fan. So, yeah, it's certainly not over. And these guys will know that. I mean, pretty much everyone out there just about played in that game, with the exception of just a handful, the Bullocks and Landon Bell, Arende Beeman, but pretty much everybody else was part of that, and some played a crucial role on special teams with the collapse in that game. So they're going to be locked in. Coach Miggins is not going to let them take their eye off the prize. But, yeah, Glen Allen must score points here. Pressure on Perini. Jack Brotherton brings him down, but I think it's going to be a horse collar, and it's going to be 15 yards. Yep. I pointed that it was against pointed it against Glen Allen. I'm thinking he pointed the wrong way. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So. Yeah. Yeah. So there was a little confusion as the official pointed the wrong way initially, but yes, it is a horse collar against Trinity. So 15 yards, automatic first down into Titan territory for the Jaguars. Play action. Perini steps up, pressure again, and he's sacked. This time it's Jack Brotherton. Hey, man, credit to Jack Brotherton. He got hit for the penalty on the last one, which, I think it was a legit call. His job is to get that quarterback to the ground, and he did it. What was deemed illegally last time, but didn't hold his head, comes back, and immediately gets a sack on the next play. That's the kind of thing as a coach that you love to see. He's not up in his feelings. He's not feeling sorry for himself. He just relentlessly pursued the quarterback to try and make up for the penalty. So big credit to Jack Brotherton on that one.
Yeah, this Trinity pass rush is going to start pinning their ear back. They're in a passing situation. They know it's a pass. Well, never mind, run them this way.
Yeah, and it's a good run. It's the best run of the day, in fact, for Glen Allen. And I have a feeling that the Glen Allen coaching staff was thinking just like you were, JJ, and I was as well, that these are obvious passing downs, but they ran a little handoff and a little counter gap action to Jacob Boyd, and Boyd ran for 14, so it brings up 3rd and 1. They hand it again to Boyd, but this time he goes backwards. Maddox Patrick and Trey Cherry combined for the tackle, so it's going to be 4th and 3. I'm pretty impressed with Glen Allen goes to this hurry up. You don't see this be successful very often in high school. We see it a lot at the pro level, and even colleges struggle with it, but they do a really good job in their up-tempo attack of getting into the plays. So big 4th down here, 4th and 3, passes, caught for a 1st down, good cutback, and that was a gain of 8 yards to Jabari Harris. He's had a lot of great catches for Glen Allen and a huge 1st down to keep this drive alive, and I think it's safe to say keep this game alive, because at that point, with less than 10 left, it would have been really hard, but they need points, and they still have that opportunity. Boyd this time runs for no gain. Trey Cherry with another tackle. He's pushing double digits.
Yeah, got to be. And on that 4th down, that was a great play call. They noticed the off coverage, so they just said, we're going to get one of our playmakers on space, just have him sit down, caught the ball, made a little move. He already had the 1st down, but got a little extra, gave you some momentum. But on that play, great play there by Trey Cherry. Just get him by the ankles, just get him on the ground.
2nd and 10. Perini going for the touchdown. It's pass interference is going to be called. Or maybe holding. It'll depend if it was the contact was before or after the pass, but probably a good call regardless. But with everything that happened on the PI, yeah, it is pass interference. But you knew if they hadn't thrown that one, the Glen Allen coaching staff would have rioted, but no, I think it was a fair call, and I'm not sure it was necessary to interfere.
Yeah, I don't think it was catchable.
I don't think it was catchable, and in fact, it was
number 9, I think.
Yeah, it was. But I was gonna say, so Marquez Bullock actually got 2 hands to it. So it was Marquise had the interference, but if he had not interfered, I think his brother actually would have had almost had an interception anyway. All right, they throw it again. Screen, it's caught by McPherson. He
Good
is
tackle.
Into the end zone. That is Cooper McPherson. I wasn't sure if he got to the goal line, but Josiah Walker almost stopped him short, but they are going to give him 6. And Glen Allen, curious if they'll go for 2 down 24-12.
I think you have to.
I do too, and it looks like they will.
That was a great play call, though. Just in man coverage, you got the corner going on a slant route. You got the outside linebacker, going on a slant route, and you just leak out the tight end who people think are blocking for an open flat.
It is caught for 2. Jabari Harris. And that cuts the lead to 24-14. Game on. Glen Allen had to convert on 4th down to keep this drive alive, and they did. And the Glen Allen student section has thinned out a bit from its peak, but those who have stuck around are being treated to a great ball game here, and this one definitely far from over now with 8:55 to go. Glen Allen Marching Band has us all bopping our heads up here.
Yeah, I miss public school, man. There's all the people there. Just had a lot of fun at the games as well. But private school, not as many people, so you don't really get those large bands. But yeah, credit to them. They're doing an amazing job, in my opinion.
Now the marching band is great. As this onside kick is fielded by Trey Cherry. And it got past the up man, but great job by Trey to settle down on that, or that would have been a real disaster.
Yeah, that was a great catch on that one. It short hopped him a little bit, so he had to try and get over it with his arms and tuck it in. And he did a great job. Linebacker doesn't play on the offensive side of the ball, but great hands for a linebacker, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, Trey Cherry, he can do it all on a football field as far as I'm concerned. And, yeah, also got to shout out the Trinity Pep Band because they're not big in numbers, but they do a great job with what they got. But it is obviously smaller, and that marching band sound just comes from from the numbers. But Trinity Pep Band is awesome too. Love them. All right, first down from the 42. Devion Brown takes the handoff. He bounces outside for a short gain. Picked up 2, maybe 3. Second and 8. Deuce Mason in motion. Handoff to Deuce Mason. And great job by Glen Allen. And the momentum definitely on the side of the Jaguars. William Agbana and Brandon Turner combined for the tackle.
Yeah, on these stretch plays, Glen Allen doing a great job of making sure the Titans aren't able to get upfield and keeping them running laterally. Lateral yards don't help you in football, so it doesn't matter how far he runs sideways. You just can't make sure that he cuts upfield and gets yards forward. And they're doing a great job, like I said, all game. They stopped Carson on stretches. They stopped CJ on stretches. They stopped Deuce on stretches. So that's like 3 of the fastest people on the team that they've been able to stop.
Absolutely. All right, 3rd and 11. We see KJ Harris come in for an offensive play. I've rarely seen him on the offensive side. Again, the double handoff works well to Josiah Walker, and he's got the first down. Huge play on 3rd and 11, and just when the momentum was all with the Jaguars. Their student section, we said it had thinned out some, but they were getting loud. And on 3rd and 11, Josiah Walker picks up about 15 and a crucial first down. That's also going to allow Trinity to run a bunch more time off the clock as well.
Yeah, not the biggest, but definitely one of the fastest, and he's very shifty, so he broke out of one of the arm tackles and kept his feet turning to get that first down, because if he would have got tackled there, he would have been about 2 yards short, which Trinity have been struggling on this drive to really get those 2-yard plays.
Parks again. Good, solid gain of 7. Titans looking like they're going with some tempo, which would surprise me a little just because the clock is their friend here. Maybe try and draw them off sides. Yeah, that is. They try to go tempo and then the hard count. Glen Allen came up in their stance a little bit, but showed the discipline not to jump off sides. We did see that happen earlier in the game on the other side of the ball. All right, 2nd and 3. Carson Parks has the first down, I think. It's close, but he does, as usual, fall forward, and he gets across that line to gain. And that'll keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving as soon as they get those chains set. And by the time the Titans snap it again, we'll be less than 6 minutes to go in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, I was just about to say Carson Parks falling forward again, which he's done all season. If he doesn't fall forward there, he doesn't pick up the first down. The first down, and it sets you up in a 3rd and 1.
Well, I almost feel like I've seen it so many times that he was stopped right at the line to gain, and I said, I think he's got the first down because I think I just subconsciously assumed he would fall forward, and I've seen him do that so much, and he did it again. That time Parks runs for another 4 yards, and I don't know if we've talked about this enough throughout the season, JJ, but I kind of slightly referenced it earlier tonight. But, I mean, to me, like a 4-yard run is it's like the most underrated play in football. Like, run for 4 yards on first down, second down, third down, you get another first down. And people don't holler, jump up and down for 4 yards,
yep.
But you can live with 4 yards, particularly at the high school level.
Yeah, even in rec, my coach told us, because we didn't really have punters. We were too young to punt. So he said 3 yards every play is 12 yards. You get a first down. So just focus on 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. So
Yep.
4 yards is even better.
Exactly. Carson Parks has more than 3 or 4 yards this time. Pickup of probably 11, I think, and into the red zone with Carson Parks' great night and great season for Carson Parks continues. Bummed for him that his he did have a touchdown call back, because he has this season already 11 touchdowns, and would have loved to see him add to that. He did get into the end zone, but it came back for a penalty in the second quarter. But he'll have a chance, hopefully, on this drive to get into the end zone. He gets the ball again. He won't get to the end zone, but he'll get inside the 10. And, yeah, it's going to be 2nd and 1.
Yeah, this offensive line is doing really good, and this has to be very demoralizing for a defense to see a running back who gets more energetic as the game goes on. Like you said earlier, the more tired the defense gets, the more energy Carson Parks gets. And he's averaging on the season over 7 yards a carry, and that's just really unheard of at the high school level.
Yeah, that's remarkable. He didn't get much on that carry, although he didn't need much to pick up the first down, and he did get it. So it was 2nd and 1, maybe even like 2nd and half a yard, and he got the first. I mean, I've seen the official signal first down, although I have not seen them move the chains. But yeah, 1st and goal.
Yeah, if you're a Glen Allen fan, you were really just relaxing about 6 minutes ago, but then you blink and all of a sudden clock is under 4 minutes.
Now we get a timeout. No, sorry, penalty. False start on the Titans. Didn't see that one, but yeah, you use that word demoralizing, and you're right. I mean, when they scored that touchdown and 2-point conversion to cut it to a 10-point deficit, there was 8:55 left. They had the momentum. They had that juice on the sidelines, and if they could have gotten the stop on that 3rd and 11 and gotten the ball back. Parks gets very little here on 1st and goal.
Yeah, I don't think the Trinity coaches mind that really, because now Glen Allen has to start burning their timeouts.
And they do indeed use that first timeout. 3:01 to go. So it'll be 2nd and goal from about the 12-yard line when we get out of this timeout. So you're right. I think Titans will run it. Glen Allen will call a timeout. Probably 3rd down, probably run it again, burn that last time out. That is obviously if Trinity doesn't get in for the score. And then it would be interesting to see at that point, obviously, where they are on the field would factor into this decision. But you could kick another field goal, which would put it to 13, and it would take 2 touchdowns to beat you with a team that would be out of timeouts. Or you could go for it and potentially put it away, but if you don't score, it's still just a touchdown and field goal. But I think probably at this point the field goal doesn't do much for you.
Yep.
So I do think probably it's 4-down territory here. And a touchdown, look, I'm the last one that ever wants to jinx anything, but I think a touchdown would seal it.
I think so, yeah.
Well, a touchdown and an extra point.
Yeah, I think so.
Get it up to 17.
Because, yeah, all those timeouts at that point, if they don't score on this play, are going to be burned. So it's not really going to be much they can do. We've seen Glen Allen throw the ball all game, really, so the clock is going to stop on an incompletion, but they're going to have to start attacking the corners, the sidelines, really. And Coach Wally isn't an idiot. He's going to he's going to cover the sidelines and make sure that they can't get out of bounds to stop the clock.
All right, 2nd and goal from the 12, coming out of that timeout. They are throwing. Looking up top for Fat Rat, Davion Brown. It is touchdown. Caught. Davion Brown for his 4th touchdown of the game. No, it's going to be a penalty against Trinity. It's a illegal motion against the Titans, which had nothing to do with the play. Just over on the left side of that line, it looked like Huey Stone just flinched, and that takes the points off the board.
Yeah, getting that close to the end zone, it's almost impossible to have to double team Davion Brown. So you leave him in one-on-one coverage. He went up and got the ball. Great ball by Deacon, but yeah, he went up and got it. But the touchdown gets called back, and then.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was just going to say, I want to reiterate, yeah, a great ball by Deke, which he's had several great throws tonight, which is huge for his confidence going into next week. But, God, that's a frustrating penalty if you're a Titan coach. You score the touchdown that we pretty much said, you get a touchdown, it's over. Now they're doing it again. He is able to, it's picked, although I think it's going to be interference, but it is an interception, but ultimately I think it's going to be PI, and it will give Trinity a first down. So they go back to Devion again. Pass interference on the defense. They
timeout on the field.
I want to talk about that penalty, though.
Yeah.
That's a backbreaker for Glen Allen's defense, because really all you can do in that situation is either pass interference or just hope that he ends up just dropping the ball. And now, is it a fresh set of downs, or did they just...
So it's half the distance, and I guess all right, they're putting a little time back on the clock, because I think they didn't stop it in time. In the NFL and college, PI in the end zone is automatic first down, but I guess it's not in high school. And there are quite a few rules that are a little bit different in high school. So you and I both watch a lot of college and NFL, so it's not a first down. I mean, they're showing 2nd and goal. Still a big penalty. It erased an INT and gives the Titans much better field position. Carson Parks powers his way to the 6, and Glen Allen calls timeout. 2:05 left. That's going to leave them with 1 timeout to go. We've seen a lot, JJ. I think I don't know. I was so busy looking to see, because I noticed they hadn't stopped the clock after the pass interference. And I was looking to see about them putting time back on the clock. I think we had dead air for about 20 seconds while the old man up here tried to figure out what was going on. But to your point, I mean, with that interception, they would have got the ball at the 20, 2 timeouts. They've been explosive all night, still very much in the ball game. Instead, Titans retain possession, still have a great chance to put more points on the board, and Glen Allen forced to use more timeouts. Now, you could also say, well, they wouldn't have had the interception if it wasn't for the interference. So maybe to say that the interference cost them the interception is kind of reductive, because it's also, he only was able to get the INT because of the PI, but still it's a complete game changer. But on the flip side, that penalty on Glen Allen's a game changer, but on the flip side, the illegal shift or illegal motion, whatever the penalty that negated Fat Rat's touchdown, was also a huge moment in the game. So both teams basically inflicting wounds upon themselves. And the next team that makes a winning play is going to put themselves obviously in a much better position. Okay, 3rd and goal. Handoff to Carson Parks. He fights for a yard or 2. Glen Allen uses their final timeout. We're under 2 minutes to go. 4th and goal. Evan Goldschmidt was running onto the field.
Yeah, I don't think that is the right play in the situation. I think you got to trust your offense to either put this game away and put enough trust in your defense to where if we don't get this, you're going to get a stop. And you're close to the goal line already. We saw they almost had a safety down there. And like I said, Carson, I highly doubt he's going to get tackled for a loss here, so he's going to at least get you 1 to 2 more yards closer. So you got, like I said, you got to trust this defense to either get a stop or you got to trust your offense to score a touchdown here. And either way, the big point is you have to trust.
Yeah, I agree. Even if you don't get it, they got to go the length of the field with no timeouts, and even then they would still have to then recover an onside kick. I mean, I just think, but they are going to kick the field goal. So we both agree. We thought you should go for it. I'm not sure how much the 3 points really does for you here, because I don't even think Glen Allen has enough time to get a touchdown and a field goal. But also, it's always great to see Evan Goldschmidt out there. I mean, and I think he's going to enjoy having the opportunity to have a 2 field goal day. It's basically the distance of an extra point. It is good. So that extends the lead to 13. And now it would take 2 touchdowns to beat you. We also, the only time we've seen Glen Allen's place kicker, he was getting an extra point blocked. So perhaps the coaches for Trinity know that he is a really strong leg, and that making it having to score 2 touchdowns versus a touchdown and then an onside kick and a potential field goal. I mean, that all factors in. So far be it for us to question Coach Sam Mickens, who's won 4 state championships. But I would have thought they would have gone for it. Hey, also, we just got word, offensive coordinator and longtime Trinity coach Malcolm Bell and his wife Julia just welcomed their first child into the world. So, Coach Bell, if you're watching, Julia, congratulations. Those early days, man, there's nothing more special in life. So, just all the best to you all, and congratulations. So happy for you guys. All right, this kick is returnable. Decent return out across the 30. I believe that return was Jaleel Dandridge. And he's out to the 31, a minute 46 to go.
And I think in this situation, the quarterback is going to give the offense multiple plays here. They're going to give about 3 to 4 plays so you can just run, just go, 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 go. And the same on the defense side. They're going to give about 3 to 4 coverages that they might end up running throughout this drive, depending on the play.
And we've seen Glen Allen is good in that up-tempo offense. Scramble by Luke Perini for 5. He does get out of bounds to get that clock stopped.
I'm going to need more, though. A 5-yard gain helps, but doesn't help the way that a 10 to 15-yard gain would help.
Perini is sacked by Ben Rosen and Kean Montgomery. And going to make it 3rd and 6.
Looked like he was looking downfield for options, but the entire Trinity defensive line just closed in. And there are no big guys on the field, no Big Mike, no Sadiq. Trinity are in a passing coverage situation. They're probably playing cover 4. You got 2 high safeties. The corner's playing off and dropping deep with screen pass here.
Screen pass here to Dandridge. He keeps fighting. He initially looked like he wasn't going to get the first down, but credit to Jakeem Dandridge for fighting for that first down yardage.
As long as you keep him in bounds, it really doesn't hurt you too much. The clock should keep running. And the player just went down.
No, that's not good to see with under a minute to go. All right, so Dandridge getting helped off the field, and we'll be first down at the 43. All right. Clock is running now. short gain by Perini. Oh, looks like an official got taken down by accident there in the secondary. Just, I think, a couple guys ran into one of the refs, so looks like he was able to get up all right, though. And looks like Glen Allen now at this point is just kind of content to run it. I think this is likely to be the last play of the game, if even they do get it off. Clock down under 10 seconds. Looks like we're going to have one more snap. It is a run to Boyd. He runs it wide. He gets a decent gain, and he is tackled as the clock expires. And the Titans improve to 7-1 on the season, with a final score being Trinity Episcopal 27, Glen Allen 14. And before we sign off, got to handle a couple pieces of business. First off, JJ, give me your player of the game.
Player of the game obviously has to be Davion Brown. 3 touchdowns, had to get double teamed the second they realized something was not going to change in his game, so they had to put 2 on him. And that's just what great players do. They, even when adversity hits, because Trinity were in kind of like a stop state of offense, so even when adversity hits, you give it to your star player, let him create some momentum. And he created more than momentum. He created points.
Yeah, and I'll go with a defensive player of the game, Trey Cherry, who I think had double-digit tackles, and the Trinity defense wasn't even on the field that much for him to even have that many tackles. Also some special teams tackles. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely Davion Brown on offense. Trey Cherry, you're nodding your head. I think you agree with me on defense. Those guys have been obviously 2 of the best players all season, and they keep it going. And then the other thing I wanted to get your thoughts on is just now we move on to what I know when my time at Trinity, at least from a basketball standpoint, what we just used to just call the game. Trinity Benedictine, the biggest rival that we have. It was ranked by the Richmond Times-Dispatch to be one of the top 10 rivalries in all of Virginia sports. That's including college, everything. Titans and Cadets going to do it again. Those games have been epic for years now. Just thoughts as we head into Benedictine week.
Yeah, Benedictine have been playing very hard, and Trinity have been playing very hard. They came off that loss to St. Chris, but bounced back in this game to beat Glen Allen. And now you have Benedictine who come into this game undefeated. So it's going to be like one of the best games, I think, that Benedictine and Trinity fans have seen. Obviously, we've seen some classics. We saw in 2022, I think the year before I got here, in the state championship game last year when Benedictine came back, one of those. So I think it's going to be one of those games where people are going to remember it. You're going to remember it for a couple years after it happens.
Yeah, maybe more than a couple years. I mean, I still, the 8 times I played against them in basketball as a player, I remember every single one. I mean, I know who won. I know who played well. And that's going back to the 90s, the 1990s. And not to mention all the, I mean, these teams have played each other 8 times in the last 4 years, because they've not only met every year in the regular season, but also they met every year in the postseason for 4 straight years. So this will be the 9th meeting in 5 years. Some people think they may be maybe the first of 2. I'm sure St. Christopher's and some others will have something to say about that,
Yep.
But I just can't wait. We will have it for you. It's at Aycock Stadium, 1 o'clock. Titan Nation, come on out. We want everybody there if at all possible. But if you can't make it, if you're out of town, we'll have the sights and sounds for you. JJ and I will be up in the Aycock Stadium booth, and just super excited. Great job by Glen Allen with the hosting. Once again, we want to thank everybody here at Glen Allen for being such welcoming hosts. And been an awesome atmosphere. Love the marching band, student section, the cheerleaders, all great stuff. And then also credit to Coach Mickens and the Titan team for bouncing back from a heartbreaking loss last week and improving to 7-1 on the season. For Briggs Pinar, JJ Welcher, Will Hampton, and Carter Tyree, I am Rick Hamlin signing off. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you next Saturday, 1 o'clock.